What's up, WrestleScope Nation? And hold on just a minute, because what I'm about to tell you is going to blow your mind. And quite frankly, it's going to make you question everything you thought you knew about Monday Night Raw. I'm talking about the biggest bombshell to hit WWE television in years. I'm talking about an alliance that nobody saw coming. I'm talking about the tribal chief himself, Roman Reigns, making a shocking return to help not one, not two, but three of his biggest rivals take down what might be the most dangerous faction in WWE history. But here's what's really going to tick you off, and trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to be screaming in the comments section. Hello viewers, if you're new here, please don't forget to like and hit the subscribe button for daily updates on WWE Raw. The WWE creative team has been playing us for months. They've been feeding us lies. They've been making us believe in storylines that were nothing but smoke and mirrors while they cooked up this absolute chaos behind the scenes. So buckle up, because we're about to dissect the most controversial, most shocking, and most game-changing moment in recent WWE history. This setup. Let me paint you the picture of what went down on Monday Night Raw, and I want you to really understand the gravity of this situation. For weeks now, actually, let me correct that, for months now, we've been watching The Vision systematically dismantle everything we love about WWE. Triple H's pet project has been running roughshod over the entire roster, and I don't care what anyone says, this faction has been booked to destroy. CM Punk, the voice of the voiceless, the man who came back to WWE after a decade away, has been fighting a losing battle against these guys. Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, the man who finished his story at WrestleMania, has been getting decimated week after week. And Jey Uso, main event Jey Uso, the man who finally broke free from the Bloodline's shadow, he's been getting crushed. Now here's where it gets interesting, and by interesting, I mean absolutely infuriating. The Vision, for those who somehow don't know, consists of some of the most ruthless, most calculating, and most dominant superstars WWE has ever assembled. We're talking about a faction that makes The Shield look like a boy band. We're talking about a group that makes Evolution look like a retirement home. These guys have been unstoppable. They've been taking out legends. They've been decimating champions. They've been making grown men look like absolute rookies in that ring. And what has WWE management done about it? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Adam Pearce sits in his little office, wringing his hands, acting like there's nothing he can do. Triple H is backstage, probably laughing at the chaos, because it's making headlines. And the rest of the roster, they've been too scared to even get involved. But Monday Night Raw? Oh man, Monday Night Raw changed everything. The Vision came out to make yet another statement. They had CM Punk cornered in the ring. Cody Rhodes was already beaten down at ringside, his arm potentially injured again. And Jey Uso? He came running down to make the save, because that's what real ones do, but he was outnumbered. The crowd in the arena was on their feet, but you could feel the desperation in the air. You could sense that we were about to witness something terrible happen to three of the biggest babyfaces in the company. The return. The lights went out, and I'm not talking about a regular blackout. I'm talking about the entire arena plunged into darkness. The kind of darkness that makes your heart stop. The kind of darkness that makes you realize something massive is about to happen. The crowd went silent for what felt like an eternity. And then, oh ah. The Bloodline's theme music hit. But it wasn't the new Bloodline. It wasn't Solo Sikoa's theme. This was the original. This was the theme that struck fear into the hearts of every superstar on the roster for over 3 years. And when those lights came back on, Roman Reigns was standing at the top of the ramp. The tribal chief, the head of the table, the man who dominated WWE for 1,316 days as Universal Champion. the man who conquered Brock Lesnar, the man who defeated John Cena, the man who made everyone, and I mean everyone, acknowledge him. But here's what's going to make you lose your mind. Roman wasn't alone. Behind him stood Paul Heyman, his wise man, his special counsel, the man who had been mysteriously absent from WWE television for weeks. And you could see the shock on Heyman's face. You could see that even he didn't fully believe this was happening. The camera panned to the Vision in the ring, and for the first time since they formed, you could see uncertainty in their eyes. For the first time, these seemingly unstoppable destroyers looked vulnerable. CM Punk, bloodied and beaten in the corner, had this look of absolute disbelief. This is the man who feuded with Roman Reigns. This is the man who called Roman out for being a part-timer. This is the man who said Roman was holding the business back. Cody Rhodes, struggling to get to his feet at ringside, looked confused. This is the man who dethroned Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40. This is the man who ended the longest title reign in modern WWE history. This is the man who Roman tried to destroy multiple times. And Jey Uso? Oh man, Jey Uso's reaction was everything. This is his actual cousin. This is the man he fought to break free from. This is the man who manipulated him for years. This is the man he had to overcome to become his own person. The complexity of emotions on Jey's face told an entire story in just a few seconds. Roman walked down that ramp with the same intensity, the same swagger, the same presence that made him the most dominant champion in WWE history. He wasn't smiling, he wasn't playing to the crowd. This was business. Paul Heyman was shouting something at ringside, but the crowd was so loud you couldn't hear what he was saying. The entire arena was shaking with noise. People were losing their minds. Roman stepped over the top rope, that signature move that always made him look like an absolute unit, and he stood in the ring staring down the Vision. And here's the moment that's going to be replayed for the next decade. The Alliance. Roman looked at CM Punk. These two men have history. They've traded insults, they've questioned each other's dedication to the business, they've been on opposite sides of the WWE landscape for years. Then Roman looked at Cody Rhodes, the man who beat him for the undisputed WWE champion, the man who ended his historic reign, the man who stood on top of the mountain that Roman built. Then Roman looked at his cousin, Jey Uso. This is where I got emotional, folks. This is where even the most hardened wrestling fan had to feel something. Jey had tears in his eyes. You could see the internal struggle. You could see the years of manipulation, the pain, the trauma, the brotherhood, the family, all of it washing over him in real time. Roman didn't extend his hand this time. Instead, he placed his hand on Jey's shoulder and said something that the cameras couldn't pick up, but we could read Roman's lips. "We're family, Us." Jey nodded, tears streaming down his face, and these two cousins embrace in the middle of that ring while the WWE Universe lost their collective minds. But remember, the Vision was still in that ring. The war. What happened next was absolute carnage. The Vision tried to make the first move, but they were too late. Roman, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, and Jey Uso became an unstoppable force. Roman immediately hit one of the Vision members with a devastating Superman punch. The impact sounded like a gunshot through the arena. CM Punk, despite being beaten down for the past 15 minutes, found a second wind and started delivering those signature strike combinations that made him a legend in the independent scene. Cody Rhodes, his arm heavily taped, fought through the pain and hit a beautiful disaster kick that sent another Vision member over the top rope. And Jey Uso, main event Jey, was delivering super kicks like he was in a martial arts movie. Every kick perfectly placed, every strike calculated. But here's what made this different from every other multi-man brawl you've ever seen. These four men worked together like they had been a team for years. Roman would hit a Superman punch, and CM Punk would immediately follow up with a running knee. Cody would hit a Cody cutter, and Jey would immediately hit a splash. The coordination was flawless. The vision for all their dominance over the past few months suddenly looked mortal. They looked beatable. They looked like what they really were, a group of guys who had been exposed by a greater force. The match, and yes, at some point Adam Pearce came out and made this an official match, went for nearly 20 minutes of pure chaos. We saw CM Punk hit his GTS on one Vision member, while Roman simultaneously hit a spear on another. We saw Cody and Jay perform synchronized crossroads and superkicks. We saw Paul Heyman at ringside, conducting this symphony of destruction like a mad master. The crowd was chanting throughout the entire encounter. The energy was electric. This wasn't just a match. This was a cultural moment. This was the kind of segment that people will talk about for decades. The finish. Now I need you to